That's not good. I can't change that. Hello everybody. Unfortunately the stream can only be viewed in 720p, which I'm sorry for. I just picked the usual 720 standard I always have. Today I'm gonna just do a little showcase stream of the Discovery Tour, which is a virtual museum mode according to the game, with guided tours and historical locations. So we're just gonna jump right in. Hope the audio levels are alright. Loading, loading, loading on the river. With content curated from Egyptologists and hundreds of images sourced from museums and libraries around the world, we hope to share with you the passion that inhabited us for the 4 years it took to develop Tesla's great origins. I don't know why I read that out. Discovery Tour.
Welcome to Discovery Tour by Assassin's Creed, Ancient Egypt.
Guided tours will take you through majestic landmarks and acquaint you with ancient Egyptians and their culture. But and here truly captures your fascination. Take a picture, use the photo mode and share it with your friends. We hope you enjoyed this experience. Ooh, we're Aya. Hi, Faded. Yeah, they added it today. Thank you for the host, Johnny.
Welcome to Alexandria, planning of the city.
Well, this...
Alexander's plan to build his great city began with a verse from Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with many swells, an island called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city at the western end of the Nile Delta.
Cool. So, you can follow the line, or you can just run around as you want, I guess.
Though
Rage.
Alexander considered this location ideal
Rage.
for his great city, it presented considerable challenges. Too difficult to access during storms, the surrounding swamps threatened disease, and the limestone soil prevented the
I
growth
will
of
play
healthy
as
crops.
man, Jordan.
However,
And I'm sorry about
due to the influence of
if
his
you
mentor
can't
Aristotle,
watch the stream, John, because
Alexander
it's
the
only
Great
7:20.
recognized that the true value was its strategic
Maybe I shouldn't
emplacement.
talk over this.
Alexander knew that in controlling Pelusium to the east, Memphis to the south, and his crowning glory Alexandria to the west, he would create a triangular stronghold, allowing him to control the entire delta while giving him access to the Mediterranean.
So here is all the characters you can play as. You can even play as children. See? Now I am a man. I now have a penis. Well, I have a penis, but you're not being gay.
The Great Walls of Alexandria had a humble beginning. Lacking chalk to outline the future city's foundations, architects were forced to use flour instead. Clouds of migrating birds swept down and ate the flour, erasing the plans. This prompted Alexander to seek guidance from the oracles, who reassured him that his future city was destined to feed a large population.
I mean, the pictures are pretty. They are pretty, I mean. This is from the Metropolitan. How about that?
Excavations led by Mahmud Bey el-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length and 2.2 kilometers in width. It was roughly 9 meters in height.
Huh. You want to play as a Greek nobleman? Men can be cute too, Johnny. But I guess you can't see that because you're straight.
These
What would you
formidable
want me to say?
ancient walls would resist a number of attacks, including fending off the king of Syria in 169 BCE. It wasn't until 295 CE that they eventually fell to Roman Emperor Diocletian, and this
Bayek.
only after 8 months of relentless assault.
Can also ride a mount. I think that's supposed to be like places of interest. Like here. I think you're supposed to be able to do stuff. Like here.
Alexandria's principal architect, Dinocrates, chose a Hippodamian grid plan. The grid maximized functionality, with wide, straight roads and canals running beneath them. Alexander recognized the military value of the city's design. The wide, parallel streets gave him optimal surveillance of the city, while allowing the unobstructed flow of troops.
I mean, we can only guess how Alexandria looked like, right? We can't really understand exactly how it looked. Now, where did he get that hammer? Hope I'm not triggering you, Jean. Jean. Well, this is not about... This is more like a tour.
A central corridor ran from the Mediterranean's north port down to Lake Mareotis to the south. This thoroughfare acted as an unobstructed link for commercial trade and travel between the two ports. Many of the streets were bordered with grand buildings and parks, including Canopic Street, with its impressive gate bordering the eastern end.
So this is like, I guess, the picture they used as a way to help create the city in game.
Alexandria was most likely built upon an already existing Egyptian village. Upon its completion, the Egyptians reviled the city, refusing to call it by its founder's name. Instead, they called it Raked, the building, as a mark of disdain, which was later Hellenized into Rakotis. Despite this, the name Alexandria would remain.
So this is a concept art based on historical facts, maybe? I don't know. Welcome to Discovery Tour by Assassin's Creed. You can now explore ancient Egypt at your own pace or select options to choose a new tour by opening the menu. The pause menu. Open menu. Right. So I think there are 36, 54. So there are 75 tours in total. Some take just a few minutes, other takes like half an hour, I think. Yeah, 22 station in 20 minutes. 5 minutes, 9, 5. But I guess that is just walking through the different stations. I like blue. And here we have everything they've done. Yep, this is totally educational content, yum. Because Assassin's Creed has been known to be a tool that teachers use in schools. For better or worse, because even though there are discrepancies, like there are in games, most of it is historically accurate when it comes to events and cities and characters, with the exception of the influence of the fictional characters. Ooh, here's a... Yeah, except for the carrots. But if they put blue stuff, or purple, they were purple, right? If they put purple carrots in a game, people will be like, what the hell is this? This is not accurate. And then they will told that it is accurate. But, you know, who really cares about the carrots, right? So here we have... Yeah, carrots used to be purple, apparently. The Old Kingdom. Ooh, Tutankhamun. It's all about how they are grown, right? Or where they are grown. Kind of like heavy controls. The map. So there are Alexandria map. Seem to be on the edges, mostly, not in inland. That's interesting. So we can do some more Alexandria tours. And I'm gonna do all of them this stream. Is gonna do maybe an hour showing off the city. Here we have a tour. Four stations. It's about the Serapion. 4 minutes. Yeah, we can do that.
Welcome to the Serapion of Alexandria.
Now, I'm not really that good with geography, but is Alexandria? Does Alexandria still exist?
In a city of numerous magnificent
Alexandria.
attractions, the Serapion was considered to be the most beautiful temple of Alexandria. Located southwest of the city, on a small hill known as the Acropolis, the sanctuary was constructed during the reign of Ptolemy III, upon foundations which had existed since the reign of Ptolemy I Soter.
This is not really how it looked like in game, though. But guessing how it looks in game. Oh, it does. I don't know these things, so you have to be patient. I wonder if you can get this outfit in game, because I kind of want it. Does any of the old Alexandria still remain, or is it just modernized now? I know the Alexandria burned down, didn't it? Can I join in? Oh, I wanna play music with you dudes. Or just stand and clap like a fool. Yeah, the game is really pretty, Ronio. I mean, you have the occasional game bug, but that's cool. I have had a bit of a fascination with ancient Egypt for a while. Don't really know where it started.
Visitors of the Serapion climbed 100 steps to reach the courtyard. Libraries were installed in the porticos surrounding the square building, with its roof and columns adorned with gold and gilded bronze. Pharaohs were generous to the temple, as were several Roman emperors after Egypt's conquest. An inner temple housed the statue of Serapis, dedicated to healing the sick.
Foundation plaque from the Serapeum in Alexandria, 221 to 204 BC, Greco-Roman Museum, Alexandria. I think yep, you can go and sit down and do some writing of your own. Yeah, the lighthouse was one of the buildings that sank, wasn't it? Yeah. as most things, I guess.
Since the 26th dynasty, Greeks in Egypt had gradually integrated the Egyptian cult of the Apis bull to their own rituals. With the establishment of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the cult of Apis was further integrated into Greek religion. During his rule, Ptolemy I chose to merge Egyptian and Hellenic gods into a syncretic divinity named Serapis. This name was the result of the amalgamation of Osiris and Apis. With this new deity, the Ptolemaic dynasty managed to accommodate similar belief sets for two different cultures, bringing about a new dynastic cult.
Serapis plus with Calathos from Alexandria from the Serapeum. Walking this tour with Jean D in chat is almost like walking a museum with a teacher in history. And that's not a bad thing at all. What are those fruit? Are they pears? Grapes? No, not grapefruits. Can't see. Not apples. Pomegranates? What I like about this is that you can do it in your own pace. You can peel off like this. Yes, leave. There's anything of interest up here? Not that I think there is. But you can do it, which is awesome. Oh, I can't do any groundwork.
Serapis was also associated to other deities, including Asclepius, a Greek god of healing. It is possible that, as with the Serapis Temple of Canopus, the sick would visit this sanctuary, sleeping there overnight in the hopes of being healed within its hallowed halls.
Pendant with a scene with Serapis, Isis, a snake, and Harpocrates. Musée de Louvre, Paris. I'm starting to feel a bit sick. Yeah, the inclusion of the art, it's a nice touch. Really, I feel like I'm learning. apparently they had done a test by having a school letting children, they split the class in two, I think, with one half getting taught by a teacher, like a regular class, and another being given this to play. And the result was that those who had been taught by a teacher got a higher, the percentage of people with better grades was higher. God, I can't speak. But the percentage of people getting good grades in or improving their grades in
Three things
the half.
are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
That's a good touch. Anyway, the second half that had this to teach them also got good grades, or improved their grades, which is nice. Meaning that this actually teaches people stuff and things. Right. Let's go do another tour. This is fun.
Directeur, προσέχιονι. Επικουρίστε δι την πόλεη, ελευθερούν το δεινό.
Hello, gentlemen. So they have turned off combat in this mode entirely. So there are stations all over the place. You don't even have to be on a tour to enjoy them, I think. I always forget which button it is to dismount.
It's not the heat that gets you. Well, it might, if the miles and miles of endless barren desert without water don't first.
So there are voice lines all over the place, even if you're not on a tour. I mean, this must be a recreation, right? They can't just have... Oh, there must have been a mosaic of a bull? I'd like to say? Or is it a boar? Might be a boar. Sorry, I just had to check something. $7
Welcome to the Great Library of Alexandria. Near the district of royal palaces and within the Moseon was the most famous library of all antiquity. The Library of Alexandria was built to house all of human knowledge. At its pinnacle, the library was believed to contain over 700,000 parchments.
That's pretty cool. The library does not exist anymore, I know that, because that was destroyed either by the earthquake or by a raid, I don't really remember.
Throughout the centuries, fires and wars between Christianity and paganism destroyed the library, leaving nothing behind. The loss of the building, and more importantly, its vast collection, is immeasurable. As no descriptions are available, the team's rendition of the Library of Alexandria was inspired by the visuals of the Library of Chalcis at Ephesus.
I got my answer immediately. Isn't that nice? So you use this as a way to recreate the Library of Alexandria as it might have looked like. Yeah, fire and war, as you said. Throughout the centuries, fires and wars between Christianity and paganism destroyed the library, leaving nothing behind. Which is a shame, because what has knowledge ever done to people? Except, you know, making people think they can be better than other people. I say they really need to make sure that weeds are being taken away from this. But let me look at this. Weeds coming up through the pavement. I can't even. I can't even. Okay? I'm just gonna turn my back to it and say, bye weed. Bye. Oh my god. Look at that weed. But they said that now we're in a library, so we need to be very quiet, because otherwise we might disturb people.
While much of the collection was purchased at the government's expense, the library also obtained books through other means. Any books owned by travelers coming through the city were seized to be copied for the library. The copy would then be returned to the owner, and the original entered into the library's collection.
It's another concept art. Oh, it would be so nice if they actually made that astrolabe. I'm guessing that's what that is, right? It's not a globe, it's an astrolabe. Right? So I can sit here and do some more paperwork, I guess? If I wanted to. I can stand here. I really recommend that you do Rage, because you like... I think you like these sort of games. And it has Dark Souls-y combat. It's more The Witcher, but... Armilleri's Way, okay. Anyway, it would be cool if they had done it, because... Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Is an astrolabe in...
Alexandria offered unrivaled intellectual and cultural attractions. Eminent scholars from Athens, Rhodes, and other Greek centers traveled to the city to learn and engage with other free thinkers. Both the Mouseion and the library were at the center of groundbreaking ideas and creative expression.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. The armillary sphere there is the sun, though, right? That's what that represents. Hi, Vicky. So we could just follow the road, or we could go over here and possibly do some more writing if we wanted, or just stand and look at the shelf. Let's continue on.
The great minds of antiquity were usually well versed in many disciplines, which were often associated to specific schools of thought. The Peripatetics, the Stoics, and the Cynics were among the most well-known schools of the time. It is clear that Alexandria lived up to its fundamental role as a city for intellectuals, nurturing many great minds whose impact reverberates through our modern world. Hypatia of Alexandria was a Greek mathematician, philosopher, astronomer, and inventor. Though born in Greece, she eventually migrated to Alexandria, like many great minds of the time. It is there that she became the head of the Neoplatonist school of Alexandria. From most accounts, she was highly respected by her fellow Alexandrians, both as a teacher and a philosopher. With her death, the age of great ancient scientific discoveries came to an end.
Oh, I can enter first person mode. Oh, that's cool. L2, which is usually for aiming, is first person. I guess that's therapist. This mode is very chill, Vicky. You just walk around, look at stuff. Now we are looking at some boobs because John said they censored the statuary.
Callimachus was born in Cyrene and educated in Athens. After his studies, he moved to Alexandria to work in the Great Library. A poet and a critic, he strongly rejected the epic format of Homeric poems, and instead fervently supported a shorter, more judiciously formulated style of poetry. His epigrams and elegiac poems were emulated by later poets. His work was extremely popular, second only to Homer's own works.
Huh. What statue do you mean, John? Oh, you mean... Yeah, they did. That's not supposed to be seashell, isn't it? That reminds me of Angels and Demons, where they say that a pope got so infuriated with the genitals of statues that he went around and chiseled them off and put fig leaf on them. Are you sure, John? Because they're not Egyptian statues, they're Greek. Are there any basis of fact that say that statues in Greece and Rome were painted? Dude, I am praying here. Wait your turn, please. God. That's just rude. Oh my god. You are so rude. Well, that's cool then. I've actually not been in here in the main game.
It was in Alexandria that mathematician Euclid, the father of geometry, wrote the Elements, laying out the foundational work of what would become modern algebra and number theory. Euclidean geometry would become one of the most influential systems in the evolution of mathematics.
That's cool. One must be versed in Poseidonia's geography as well as Eudomus' arithmetics and geography. Elements by Euclides is as important as Pythagoras' essence and the source of all things. Finally, Archimedes on the equilibrium of planes would be the best addition of knowledge to Plato's teachings. Here we have teacher giving us more info about. That's a fresca, yes.
Ω διδάσκαλε, τους πέδας μου διδαχθήνε ποίησιν και όρχησιν και μουσικήν, ουχή μόνον γεωμετρίαν και ρητορικήν.
That's cool, John. No, yeah, I'm alright, thank you. I can just wait till they release thingy. Euclides elements. Things which are equal to the same thing are also equal to one another. If equals be added to equals, the wholes are equal. If equals be subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. The whole is greater than the part. That is maths, I guess? Or math? What is the British term? Is it math or maths? That's an image? That's nice, John. But what of the little baby in the original statue?
How do you calculate the circumference of the Earth? With a camel, 2 sticks, and shadows cast by the sun. This is what Eratosthenes of Cyrene described in his principal work, Geography, while he was director of the Great Library of Alexandria. He is credited for the invention of the armillary sphere around 250 BC.
Armillary sphere! 250 BC. Ah, of course. But what is the baby supposed to represent? Because I'm guessing that's Caesar, or more precisely Julius Caesar? Or is it supposed to be one of the founders of Rome? Aristophanes' geometry. On the summer solstice, simultaneously, the sun strikes Cyrene and Alexandria, but their shadows have different angles. When comparing the angles and relating them to the distance between the two towns, planet Earth measures 150,000 stadia. I mean, not everyone thinks it's cool to learn stuff, but I do. I want to learn everything. I hope they will continue to make these modes in following Assassin's Creed games, because they put in so much effort into research. Oh my god, it's really fair.
The earliest known and most complete armillary sphere of antiquity was the Meteoroscopion of Alexandria, with an imposing 9 rings compared to the 3 or 4 of most other astrolabes. Known as the zodiac Krikatoi amongst the Greeks, the Meteoroscopion was used to determine the location of celestial bodies around the Earth. Every self-respecting astronomer of antiquity would have sought to use this tool to better understand the celestial movements.
So, the ancient Egyptians knew that the Earth was round, but we didn't know it until Galilei. No, not Galilei. The other guy. Oh no, right, they're not. Sorry. Like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, ancient Egyptians didn't know shit. They didn't even know how to build pyramids. Can you turn it? You can interact. No, you can't only read about it. Damn it. I wanted to turn it. No, Zodiac Krikatoi. Krikatoi or Krikatoi? Yeah, that's a shame. Well, that's not good, Johnny. That means you can't stream if that breaks, I guess. I don't know what a PSU is. Known as an armillary sphere to Romans, this observational device determines the location of celestial bodies around the Earth, the spheric center of the universe. The position is fixed by corresponding the latitude and meridian rings to the position of the Sun or a star. Oh, okay. Well, then that's bad. Okay, Vicky. Have a good whatever you're gonna do. Watch Tom, maybe? No, it's too late for Tom. No worries. I'm your slave, sort of. I wanna spin it and go do 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 do. In tune, then, of course.
Pythagoras of Samos was a well-known and respected philosopher and mathematician. He is best known for the Pythagorean theorem. However, there is proof that the theorem existed in Babylonia and India long before Pythagoras was born, casting some doubts as to who exactly originated the theorem.
Ah. Well, Babylonia and India is Asia, and the trade routes wasn't that great, I guess, so their knowledge didn't really reach us. I don't really know, I'm talking out of my bum here. Wiener, 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 wiener. Yeah, this is the 14th century. No, 15th century? Yeah, this is 15th century. So this is the thing. This is like the thing you have been doing, Jean. It is nice.
Όλοι θοξόε ετοίμασαν ξέρουν τους λίθους τούτους δια την κατασκευή της γέφυρας του ποταμού. Πριάσουν ζεύγος βοήν δια την ζευγιδασία του κορυφή.
Pythagoras' proof. In right-angled triangles, the figure on the side opposite the right angle equals the sum of the similar and similarly described figures on the sides containing the right angle. I would really love to see one of those, John, when you're finished and they no longer has an NDA. I love art. I want to spin you. Can't even climb you. Wiener, 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 wiener.
Όλοι θοξόε ετοίμασαν ξέρουν τους λίθους τούτους δια την κατασκευή της γέφυρας.
Right. I think I can do one more. And then I'll be off till later on. It's not about, this is not supposed to be a fast-paced game mode, Johnny. It's supposed to be slow and steady, and you're supposed to take it at your own pace and look and stuff and everything. Oh. Murdering Johnny, I think. Anything that involves killing might be viewed as offensive and threatening.
Three things are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
Yeah, murder. I think murdering and then something. I think murdering Christians? Wow, you can murder pagans, but you can't murder Christians, according to Twitch. Okay. Let's just stop talking about murdering people, maybe? The Museion of Alexandria.
Welcome to the Museion of Alexandria.
I said it right. Who are you teaching to? You're teaching to no one, fool. Fool. Oh, You can teach to me, I think. Bayek, this is not the time. I think auto mode is a pretty angled guy.
The Moseion was a sector of the city commissioned by Ptolemy I to rival Athens Academy as an institute of intellectual pursuit. Dedicated to the 9 inspiring muses, the Moseion became a great center for philosophical and scientific enlightenment. It welcomed scholars from many kingdoms, inviting them to share knowledge in literature, science, and geography.
Cool. About the Muses. This library is dedicated to invoke the 9 daughters of Zeus, sometimes called the Muses. Recruited by Osiris, they are known as Calliope, Clio, Euterpe, Erato, Melpomene, Polhumena, Terpsichore, Thalia, and Urania. Or is it Urania? Urania? Is it Urania or Urania? They are the goddesses of arts, key to the good life, and the name of Herodotus' Historiae books. I butchered that, I think. Terpsichore, okay.
The Moseion was designed so that its buildings and grounds would accommodate free thinking, debate, and presentation. Meeting spaces and theaters surrounded a main courtyard. Expansive gardens were filled with exotic plants that aided in the study and supply of herbs and medicines. A zoo offered the study of animal behavior and physiology. Also among the Moseion's many star attractions was its astronomical observatory.
So it's Uranus, not Uranus, or Uranus. It's Uranus. Uranus. Yeah, you should be nervous, Johnny. Be very nervous.
Herophilus was a physician who lived most of his life in Alexandria. He was able to perform the dissection of human cadavers on a large scale due to the permissiveness of the city in such matters. Among many other discoveries, he learned that the brain was central to the human nervous system. He also extensively mapped the blood system and measured the pulse with the aid of a water clock. It is reported that in his thirst to understand human anatomy, he performed 600 vivisections on live prisoners.
Oh. Oh my. Well, I can only say the English. Is it Kaiser? Caesar. Yeah, because they are exactly the same. Caesar is not a name, or Kaiser. It's a title. Hi, Paul. Only in this, Johnny, because this is new today, and that means that it's interesting. I honestly thought that no one would want to watch this, because I'm just walking around doing basically nothing. These are dead people. What penis? I don't see a penis.
Herophilus was a physician who lived most of his life in Alexandria. He was able to perform the dissection of human cadavers on a large scale.
I want to
due
zoom
to the
in.
permissiveness of the city in such matters. Among many other discoveries, he learned that the brain was central to the human nervous system. He also extensively
that is unmistakably one, I think.
and measured the pulse with the aid of a water clock. It is reported that in his thirst to understand human
It
anatomy,
could be a
he
scratch
performed 600 vivisections on live
blob
prisoners.
of muck. I mean, the gardens are beautiful. Scrub, 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 scrub. A water clock.
In order to be free to pursue their research, scholars were fed and housed at the Mouseion at the government's expense. This freedom provided Alexandria's scholars a meeting space for intellectual pursuits and a haven for spiritual peace. Though nothing remains of the original Mouseion, it lives on as the legacy of our modern museums.
Market Gate of Miletus, sorry. I'm not really wearing any gear, Paul. I've just selected a character from the character screen, where you can play as so many. Egyptian Irtio. Irtia? RT. IRTYU? We also have Naruk, Persian Commander, Hedge. But I like this one because it's blue and I like blue. Could be any sort of person, really. Could be an actor showing my belly, but I want to be him. Things that might know this all. Remember to back up your save files, Johnny. Yeah, I recommend the Uncharted games, Rage. I do. Thank you for the host, Carl. Or Stratham, who should totally give a follow. Yeah, you're choosing your words very poorly there, Johnny. Rightio. You know what? Let's do these two tours. When Bayek done cleaning the floor. Well, it is offensive, Johnny, in the entirety of the world except for Scotland and Australia, apparently. Because of the usage of the words in angry slurs and such. I can go down there, can I? So there's another tour. I think. Yeah, I know. What?
It's not the heat that gets you. Well, it might. If the miles and miles of endless barren desert without water don't
Why am I
burst.
standing here just gesticulating to myself? I mean, I do that in real life, but I don't need to do it in game. Jesus.
Welcome to Education in Alexandria. The education of young Alexandrians did not differ from the one generally dispensed elsewhere in ancient Greece. At the age of 7, the child was taken in
Hi,
charge
Trent.
by a tutor, who then became responsible for instilling an elementary education as well as good moral principles.
Christ is not mentioned in this, no. But Herod is. King Herod. Who is mentioned in the... as the king who rules Judea at the time that Christ was born. Allegedly born.
Teaching was generally done outside, in the open air. In the gymnasium, students were taught not only sports, but also topics such as rhetoric, philosophy, music, and poetry. All things deemed essential to one's education at the time.
Huh.
Here, both girls and boys are shown attending a class given by one of the rhetoricians of the era. The team
And
made the
his
choice to
twin,
show both genders
sitting right
attending
beside him,
class within the
being
context
creepy.
of the game world. Even though it is historically inaccurate, the team felt it was not necessary to prioritize historical sexism over inclusive gameplay.
Huh? Oh, both girls. So here's where they differ from his story, apparently. That's how you explain that. Oh, John. Jesus.
It's not the heat that gets you. Well, it might, if the miles and miles of endless barren desert without water don't first.
Yeah. I'm not gonna really comment on that, Johnny. Let's do one more. We are doing well in views at the moment. The island of Pharos. It's bliss.
Welcome to the Islands of Pharos.
Islands.
The Heptastadion was a bridge-like causeway connecting the island of Pharos to mainland Alexandria. Its name is based on the Greek terms of measurement, hepta, meaning 7, and stadion, which is a measure of length of roughly 180 meters.
Yeah, it was interesting, Johnny. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really want to comment it because I might ruin everything, and I don't want to do that.
Since its construction would separate the Grand Port to the east and the port of Eunostos to the west, it was designed with channels at each end. These openings allowed passage from one port to the other.
$95. I wonder why they made these drawings. Maybe it was to, I don't know. Learn about history or something. Yeah, Paul. Isn't that strange?
Along with creating separate harbors for the commercial and military shipping,
Yeah,
the
I
causeway
guess.
served as a main aqueduct for the island's inhabitants. Its presence also helped protect the island and its ports from rough wind and sea currents. At the end of antiquity, the Heptastadion disappeared under layers of silt and soil, which formed an important sedimentary deposit.
That's the lighthouse then. Well, that's not really true, is it, Trent? And why are you talking about that? Oh, yeah. Oh. Let's just focus on the game. And the history we're teaching through it. We're learning. I think you're supposed to ride here, maybe. Oh. May I ask why you have that? Nah, I can't really say why not. I mean, it's interesting at all, but it's a little bit odd. John
While
wouldn't.
Serapion was the most celebrated of the temples in Alexandria, many other temples were built within the city. Most of these structures have been completely erased over time,
Yeah, so
and
it
there
does.
is no way to discern how many existed. However, research of ancient papyri offered tantalizing hints as to the possible location of at least some of the temples.
So this is the same image we had before, I think. Does it amuse you when I say the name Digus? Digus? Or did he have a list? But I haven't seen Life of Brian.
Both papyri and coins reveal evidence of many temples built for the gods. Poseidon, the god of the sea, likely had an edifice in his honor west of this island, as well as on the mainland. This temple next to you is dedicated to Isis Pharia, the divine protector of the lighthouse. This location hosted annual celebrations in the month of April, known as the Sacrum Pharia, in connection to the lighthouse. In her incarnation as Isis Fortuna, the goddess carries a rudder and a cornucopia, both symbols of good luck for navigators.
Look, John, it's painted. They have painted this. So in some cases they have painted the statues, and in others they have not. Which is fair, I guess, because they can't bother programming the painted statues all the time, can they? The lighthouse is such beautiful. I can't English. So beautiful. You don't see lighthouses like that today, no, sir.
Considered one of the
Pharos.
7 wonders of the ancient world, the Lighthouse of Alexandria was a source of great pride for the inhabitants of the city. Construction began under Ptolemy I's reign and lasted 15 years. It was completed during his son's rule. Once completed, the lighthouse was dedicated to the gods for the salvation of those who sail the sea.
Another of the Isis Pharia statues. I mean, so John, remind me, what are the 7 wonders of the ancient world? You know that. I hope John, not Johnny. I meant John. Knower of things. It's the Pharos, the pyramids, I guess, the Tower of Babylon. Babylon.
Built on the island of Pharos, the stone structure was 3 tiers set on top of one another in a step formation. The second floor consisted of an octagonal tower, and the top floor was a
Tower
cylindrical
Babel, yeah.
tower topped by a statue. The interior provided space for staff rooms and a ramp which allowed the transport of fuel to the upper floors.
The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, that's it. Isn't the Sphinx also a wonder? The Colossus of Rhodes, yeah, of course.
Essential to safe navigation through the rifts and shallow waters, the Pharos was a functioning lighthouse, with a beam reportedly visible 50 kilometers away. It's unclear what kind of fuel was used or how much. Any other details of how the light worked remain a mystery.
Oh, this is from a Arabian scripture. From the 16th century. Well, you only need one. You have 6. There are 7 wonders. You have listed 6 of them.
For several centuries, the Pharos was one of the highest monuments ever built by man. It measured roughly 110 meters in height, compared to the Pyramid of Giza, which was around 140 meters tall. Gradually, the structure was eroded by earthquakes, and then completely destroyed in 1480 CE, when a fort was built over it. Archaeological excavations on the seabed have uncovered many blocks from the ancient building.
So it lasted into the 1400s at least. I think How have I confused you, John? Stop that. Because I know there are 7 wonders of the ancient world and there are 7 wonders of the modern world. What did you tell me earlier? Jesus. Oh, about the... Yeah, you did. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway. I've now been live for 1.5 hours. I need to get myself dinner soon so I can continue Sherlock Holmes at 6. Yeah, you said so, I know. I remember now. Temple of Artemis in there. Cool. Now, I don't know how much interest there is in me streaming more of this. Or if I should just do it on my own. Because I think it might be fun just to have discussions like we have had now about the authenticity of what they are saying, and like if we have questions or apparently if I have questions. So as I said, there are a lot of tours. I have done 6. And I have not even scratched the entire surface. So I can, if there is interest, I will continue streaming this. Yeah, bitch is a bad word. And now I said it, so I will probably be banned from Twitch. Ha! But yeah, I'll probably do this more because it's fun.
Well,
I get to learn stuff. You get to learn stuff. We need to talk about it, and we can like learn together. Yep, bitch is a female dog. It's really weird. It's not like we have... Oh wait, we do! We have two Swedish words for female dog. Tik and hynda. And the latter is used as a slur as well. So we have a bad... We have something in common there. Anyway, I'll wait for now. And if you're new and would like to see me go through more of this, please give me a follow. It's deeply appreciated.
Try using your eagle when you want a top-down view.
Yeah, I know. And I will be back tonight with some Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter. Tonight. At 6, so in 1.5 hours. And I will be see my regulars then, I hope. And otherwise, yeah, no, I won't do that, Paul. I know, it's been nice having you all here, as usual. And thank you for lurking as well, giving me the 30 views. Oh my god, that's the most views I've ever had in a stream ever. Thank you. But for now, I will say on to you. Bye.